Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I've been getting a lot of questions like on YouTube comments and on like my Instagram, social media and stuff like that about Alabama, about me, about college in general, about Zeta and stuff like that. So I thought I would just do a quick Q&A video today and kind of just answer all those questions. And if you have any more questions after this video, you can comment them down below. Or you can head over to my Instagram, which is Sydney Blair Palmer, and you can just DM them to me or comment them or something like that, and I'd be happy to answer them. So let's get started. So I'm gonna actually start this out by answering the questions you guys have asked about me. And so the first question is, what's my major? I am majoring in public relations and I'm minoring in psychology. I really like talking to people and social media and stuff like that. And I'm taking public speaking, and I'm taking mass comm, and I'm taking media writing. Those are my three classes that I'm taking this semester that relate to my major. And I really like it so far, so hopefully it's gonna keep my major throughout college, but we'll see. The next question I got asked is how I edit my pictures on Instagram. I actually use a Lightroom preset. If you don't know what Lightroom is, it's an app through like the Adobe company or whatever. You can use it to like add presets and edit your pictures and all this stuff. And I actually got my preset on Etsy. I ordered it from a girl. The store is called Presets by Kelly. I don't think she still sells the exact one that I use, but I think I got it in January or somewhere around there. But that's a tip I have, is always go on Etsy to find presets because I have a ton of them and they're like really cheap and stuff like that. The next question I got is the favorite perfume. I don't buy expensive perfume. I don't know. I don't really like spend money on perfumes because to me it all smells the same, it all smells nice. So as long as it smells good, I'll wear it. I just use whatever I have. So the last question about me is, what shows am I watching right now? So I have to think about that. So my favorite shows of all time are like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Rec, and then Criminal Minds, and Grey's Anatomy, of course. I have a lot of favorite TV shows. Right now I'm currently rewatching Criminal Minds. It's so good. It's like one of my favorite shows ever, so I'm rewatching that right now. I just finished rewatching Parks and Rec. What else am I watching? Here, let me just log into my Netflix and see what I'm watching. Okay, so my continue watching is Criminal Minds, The Office. I watch The Office just like randomly sometimes when I'm like in a mood for funny stuff. Lucifer, I tried to watch that. I watched a couple episodes of it. I couldn't really get into it, so H2O because it's the best show on the planet. Queer Eye because I love Queer Eye because it's the best show ever. Duh. So yeah, that's what I've been watching lately. So this next section is going to be questions like about Alabama, but not like sorority stuff. So the first one that someone asked me is, what's my favorite thing about Alabama? That's really hard because I am in love with the school. It's actually like my literal dream school. I couldn't have picked a better place to be. Everyone is so friendly and so nice, and so it's really the best place on earth. Like, it's one of the best schools in the nation. Like, best football, best Greek system, best students, like, you can't ask for anything else. On a serious note, what's my favorite thing? Well, that's so hard. Okay, I'll have two favorite things. So my first favorite thing is just how beautiful the campus is. It's stunning, and I love being able to I love walking to class. Like, that's one of my favorite things, is just walking to class, because I get to go to the quad or walk next to all the sorority houses who are all so beautiful, or I get to go walk next to the president's house, which is this beautiful white house, or the elephant statue, which is actually like bushes cut into the shape of an elephant because that's our mascot. And my second favorite thing about Alabama is just how nice everyone is. I don't know, it's like a stupid little thing. It's like a little tiny thing, but like I like being able to walk by and just like say hi to people, or like walk into a classroom and people, like I don't even know these kids, and they're like, hey, like, do you need help, or like, what'd you get for this one, or like so and so. Everyone's kind of in it together. Like, it's a really big school, but it doesn't feel big because you meet people in all your classes, and you sometimes you already know people in your classes. What made me want to go to Alabama? That's the next question. Okay, so it's a long story. I have to start at the beginning. I went to an architecture camp at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville last summer because I thought I wanted to be an architect. Not anymore. But I did. I was really interested in that, so I went to a camp, and my top choices before going to that camp were like Indiana or Cincinnati or like Purdue, all that stuff. Like, I closer to home. I liked Furman University. I only looked there because like my aunt went there. Like, I had never heard of it before, but then when I visited, it was super pretty and like I liked it, but I didn't know if I wanted to go to a big school like IU or like a smaller school like Furman, so I really didn't know. And then I think it was during the camp we got to see like the football stadium, and I was like, whoa, like this is crazy, like what? It's a huge like school in the South, even though Tennessee football is a dumpster fire. It was still really impressive to get to see their stadium. I don't know, I can't describe it. Like, I was just at the camp and I'm like, I don't know, I can't really like how like I'm in the South. Like, I like being Southern, I like the warm weather. It was so nice, it was pretty, like it was a really big school, and I liked the size, and so that's kind of how I decided I wanted a bigger school. How I like stumbled across Alabama, I know a couple of people who are older than me who went here from my high school, and so I kind of was like, oh, like so-and-so goes to Alabama, like maybe I should like look at it. I was just like looking at the website, and I don't know, it like kind of stuck out a little bit, and I was like, whatever, like it's just a Southern school, like I'll just apply there and like we'll see what happens. It was actually a year ago, I think 4 or 5 days ago from right now, like from today, a year ago, 4 days, I was accepted to the University of Alabama. I remember actually when I was accepted, I was in my economics class, and I was like on my little school iPad, you know, just typing away, doing whatever, and I always check my emails. Like, that's one thing that I always have to do. I always have to have 0 unread emails because that bothers me. It said, the University of Alabama undergrad application decision from the University of Alabama, and I was like, so I was nervous, so I clicked on it and it said accepted. Like right at the top it goes like accepted, like here I have a picture of it. It says accepted, and I didn't like freak out because I was in class, but I like screenshotted it and I like emailed it to my whole, or I texted it to my whole family, and I was like, oh my god, and they were all really excited for me. But like at that point I had never visited or anything, so like I didn't know that's where I was going. I was just excited that I was accepted. Alabama was the first one to accept me. I applied to Indiana University, University of Alabama, Furman, Clemson, and University of Cincinnati. So I applied to 5 schools. Alabama by far was the first one to accept me. I was accepted on September 11th, 2018 at 9:01 a.m. I took my first visit to the University of Alabama in October. I went to a football game and it was unreal. It was crazy. I stepped foot on the quad, and like literally, if you've never been to an Alabama game, so we have the quad. Every school has pretty much a quad. Like the library's at one end, the Denny Chimes is at one end, and then it's like wide open. On game days, like it's completely packed with like tents and tents and tents and tents of people like tailgating. Like it's crazy. It's like a different world. And I saw everyone, and everyone was like, roll tide, and I'd never said that before. I was like, roll tide. Like it was so much fun. As soon as I would like step foot on the campus, I knew, like you just know when you want to go somewhere. For people who are like in between schools, or like you don't know where you want to go, visit. I highly recommend you visit the schools, because that is where you're going to be living for 4 years, and like that's where you're going to spend all your time, and you want to see it. You want to see if the campus is what you want, if that's like who you want to be around, like the people that are already there. Like, do you want to be them? Is that who you want to look up to? Like all of those things. That was a really long answer. I'm sorry. I hope that helped. If anyone is in between Alabama and another school, I'm not sure. Okay, so this is the last question about Alabama that's not related to sorority things. So it's the best thing about college and the worst thing about college. So the best thing about college, in my opinion, is kind of getting to experience what it's like to live on your own a little bit. Like, I know I have a roommate, but I'm saying like your parents aren't there, and like you don't have that safety net anymore, so you get to like go out and kind of like do what you want. Like you can decide if you want to eat breakfast, or if you want to have like a Pop-Tart, if you want to have like chips for breakfast. Mom, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Sometimes I can't get out of bed and go to breakfast. Sometimes I just have pretzels. I can't help it. The worst thing about college, okay, there's 2 things I'm probably gonna say. I live a little bit far away from Alabama, so missing my pets and my friends and my family, like, oh, I haven't seen them. I think I haven't seen my friends, what's today? So today's the 15th, and I left for the University of Alabama August 10th. So it's been over a month since I've seen any of my friends from home, or like seen my pets. So yeah, it's hard not seeing my friends from home, but like I've met so many amazing people here. I have friends at home, but I also have friends here. So it makes it a little easier, it makes me a little less homesick when I get to hang out with my friends here and kind of just, I don't know, it's like, it's really hard to explain, and I'm terrible at explaining things, but I would just say being kind of far away from people is the hardest thing about college. That is the last question about Alabama that's not related to sorority stuff. The first question that I have is, where did I get my letters of rec for Rush? So some schools don't require you to have letters of recommendation when you're rushing for each sorority, but the University of Alabama, it's not required. It's more of, I don't know, a recommendation to have 2 letters. I had, I think, 2 letters for every sorority except one that I only had 1 for, because like I genuinely couldn't find anyone. How I found letters, my mother was Greek at the University of Virginia, and so obviously she knows a lot of people, and so she would ask them, and then maybe if they knew anyone, they would ask someone, or Like my parents' friends, like some of my parents' friends were Greek. It doesn't have to be from the University of Alabama. Like the person who's writing it for you does not have to be an alumni of Alabama, just of that sorority. And so like what you do is you can just ask anyone, like your friend's parents. My neighbor wrote me a letter of recommendation and so did her daughter for a different sorority, so that was awesome. You kind of just have to ask people, and like I think I asked some of my teachers, but none of them were Greek, so I just pretty much just people that I knew, like women that I knew in my life, I would just ask them like, hey, like were you Greek, or like were you in a sorority? And if they said like, yeah, I was, like, oh, that'd be awesome. Like I'm actually planning on rushing at the University of Alabama, and I was wondering if you'd write me a letter of recommendation. So my next question about sorority stuff, so advice for rush/bid day. My advice for rush is honestly just to be yourself, because in the long run, you're gonna end up in a sorority, and you want that sorority to be filled with girls like you. You don't want to go into a house and be like, okay, this is how this house is, so I need to act like this. For example, if a house is really preppy and you're not preppy, you don't want to go into the house and be like, I love Vineyard Vines and Lily Pulitzer, and then make them think that you are, because when you leave and they're like, wow, she was preppy, and you get a bid from them and you're not, you're gonna hate being in that sorority if it's not filled with girls like you. So just be yourself and like talk about things that you're passionate about. Like don't try and act like you love stuff when you don't, because in the long run it's not worth it, and you don't want to be in a house that you don't feel comfortable in. Zeta, I feel so at home there. I can walk in any day of the week looking however busted or however nice, and people don't judge me. My next question is, can you have friends without rushing? Yes. 100% yes, you can have friends without rushing. Only 35% of the school is actually involved in Greek life, which means the majority, 65%, is not Greek at all. It may seem like everybody is, but that's just because everyone who's in a sorority just talks about it all the time. There's nothing wrong with not being in a sorority or a fraternity. It's not for everyone. Not everyone wants to be in one. Like I have tons of friends who weren't interested in rushing, and they're having a ball. They're having the best time ever. Like they love it. I'm involved in like a couple things outside of being in Greek life, and you don't need to be in a sorority to have friends. My last question is, do I recommend being in a sorority? That's a tough question because it just depends on what you want to do. Personally, I always knew I wanted to be in a sorority, so coming down here and rushing, it was like a no-brainer for me. But I also have my sisters in Greek life, my mom was in Greek life, my aunts all were, so it's just something that I'm kind of used to, like I've known about it. Some people aren't interested in Greek life. Not everyone has to be in it, it's fine. So yes, I would recommend it, but only if you want to, because the worst thing I think would be forcing yourself to join a sorority and paying the dues and all of that stuff and not liking it and not feeling like that's where you want to be. So that's all the questions I have. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any more questions, you can comment them down below and I can answer them, or you can DM me and we can talk about it personally. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked this video. Follow me on Instagram. It's Sydney Blair Palmer. The link is in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!